What's happening, folks? Welcome to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. Dock Talk is up next. Let's go ahead and get this thing cranked up. What's happening, folks? Happy Monday night. It's me, your host, Gene. What's happening? Welcome to the Dock Talk All American Kayak Classic episode. That's all we're talking about here is the 2024 All American Kayak Classic. Before we get anything else fired up and rolling, I have made a promise to a buddy of mine, and I'm going to keep doing this. Folks, if you know of a United States veteran, active military, a first responder or former first responder, if you know of one in your life and you have not reached out and said, hey, lately, reach out, touch base, see how they're doing, check on them. Always let them know that you're there. Go get a beer, go fishing, go hang out in your backyard, bring them over for dinner. I don't care. Just reach out, make contact. The biggest piece we can do is remind these warriors and these our nation's warfighters how important they are to us and how much we're thankful to have them in our lives out there. All right, let's get going. Let's start talking fishing. Let's talk Clinton, Missouri. This is going to be maybe the biggest classic that has ever gone off. I know it's going to be one of the most exciting ones for me personally, and I know a lot of other people I think are going to be feeling the same way. So I have got a green room that is packed with people. I got the who's who of the whole area in the green room here. So let's go ahead and bring them in. First up, let's bring in the man himself, Mr. Josh Booth. What's happening, Brother Josh? How are you, sir?
Doing good, Gene.
Good, man. You just maxing and relaxing in the backyard there?
Yep, just hanging out in the backyard. I've been working on it all day, so I might as well just stay out here, I guess.
That's right. Calm before the storm, right?
Yeah, it's pretty nice out.
Awesome. Well, listen, let's go ahead and bring in another guy here that is no stranger to the podcast, the founder of the Romans Warrior Foundation, the whole reason we exist here. Let's bring the man to the stage here, Mr. Brian Romans. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How you guys doing, my brothers?
We are chilling, man. We're getting ready for this classic. We're excited. The wall's going to be in town. That's going to be a ton of fun.
That's right. That's
all right.
Almost literally a ton of fun.
Now let's go ahead and bring in one of the key member guys to this whole thing that made this possible, that we're going to have the wall in the Clinton, Missouri area, Mr. David Lee of the Greater Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Lee, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine tonight. How are you guys?
You know, I got Josh in the backyard, got you in a recliner there. Y'all, this is awesome. I like this. Only on the Dock Talk.
Yeah, no other way to go.
That's right. Well, listen, we're going to be having anglers from all over the country coming into this area. They need a place to stay, and if you are anywhere around Truman, there is one place that you need, and that is Bucksaw Resort. So we're going to bring in one of the owners of Bucksaw, and also the gal that has made it possible that we are working with them directly as our host for this entire event. Sounds like we got some jets in the background. That's awesome. Thanks, Josh. Miss Tonya Gilley. Let's go ahead and bring Tonya in here.
Hey, guys.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, we're peachy.
Good.
We're getting stoked for this, man. This is one of those episodes where we've had like the most people, I think. I had one other that we had this many people in it, but this is awesome. You guys right now represent the players involved that have helped put this whole thing together to really, bring this. Of course, Everhart's is our sponsor for the Classic. And they're making the classic portion of this, a possibility to bring into the Clinton area. But there's a lot of other moving parts, and that's what we're all gathered here. So, Josh, let's go ahead and start with you, brother. What year are we working on with the Classic? Is this the 4th year?
Yes, sir.
And when it first started off, the All American Kayak Classic was kind of the mothership, right? I mean, it was You had an idea of a big event there in the Truman area, and you put this on with Everhart's. How did it come to be?
Yeah, I was working with Everhart's. They were wanting to put on a good event to draw in a lot of regional kayak anglers to Clinton, Missouri, to show off the lake. Truman's got a lot to offer. And it just kind of fell into place where we came up with this plan to put on this kind of like a club versus club championship, but also an individual championship. And we started out in the fall, and then we switched it and moved to the spring. And it's really been growing, and it gives guys in different clubs across the region something to shoot for each year in their season, their Angler of the Year points, because this is a qualification only tournament, so they qualify through their standings in their own clubs.
So at last count, how many clubs did we have signed up?
We're right around 20 right now, I think.
And how many states? 10 states, or was it?
At least, yeah, I would say probably getting close to a dozen different states.
So 20 different clubs representing close to a dozen different states around the Midwest that are all going to be coming down here. What it is the top 15 in their Angler of the Year points. And this was something new that you wanted to do this year. You wanted to expand this a little bit because of the popularity of it. We were doing top 10. Now we're top 15 to kind of just allow a few more people to have this awesome opportunity to get into town.
Yeah, it gives each club a little bit better opportunity to, be represented. They got more representatives there. It is a team competition. They're going to take the best 5 scorers from the top 5 guys, but you can still bring, 15, 20 anglers if they're qualified, and we'll take the best 5 from that whole group. So the more anglers your club has representing, the better odds you have, really.
That is awesome stuff. And we're going to be over at the Benson Convention Center, and this is where my man, Mr. David Lee, comes into play here, is really putting the moving pieces together for us in the town there. David, how long have you been with the chamber?
Since August of 2020.
Oh, wow, okay.
After about a 40-year career in radio.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I thought, well, let's do something totally different. So I went from radio to Chamber of Commerce, but my radio background, especially here in Clinton, has really helped me out. So it took a little while, but it's been a very smooth transition.
Brian often reminds me that I have a face for radio. So and that's this whole video thing, I should just, I'll use filters. That'll do better there. Well, that's awesome stuff, man.
I guess we were all thinking at the same time.
Right? No, that's when we reached out to you and started chatting with you, Everhart's helps put a lot of this together.
Yep.
And really communicate this on the ground level there. And so it was important that a while back, Josh and I got a chance to speak. Josh looks like he reconnected here. Josh and I were talking in the off season, and we wanted to find a way that the All American could make a bigger impact on each of the areas that we went to around the country. But then also with the Classic, we thought, man, last year, I'll be honest, when I was at the Benson Convention Center last year, I'm looking at that going, why is the wall not here? I mean, this is a stop we need to have the wall at, because it was the perfect venue. And the people of the area of Clinton and that whole area of Missouri there are so supportive of their nation's veterans and the first responders. It's a way of life there. It just made total sense to me. And so Josh, Brian, and I all got talking. We hitched wagons together, and then we called you, David, and said, "Hey, brother, can you make this happen? We want to get the wall in there." And you said, you were. I'll be honest, man. You were like, "Yeah, we're in." You were really excited for this. That felt really good to hear that, man.
Now, certainly, I said something about the tourism committee had to have the final say on it, didn't I? I believe I did.
Totally. You were like, "Yeah, we're in. As soon as I get approval, we are in."
No, it really sounded great, and you're involving Everhart's, which is just a great business for this area. And then, of course, I don't know every marina, around the Midwest or across the country or whatever, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find one better than Bucksaw. And so, once we knew all that was taking place, for myself as director of the chamber and for the tourism committee, it was very easy to say, yeah, we got to do this. We want to do this.
Right.
For sure. Tonya, your reputation in that area, I mean, it goes well beyond that area. I can tell you, as a guy who runs around the country and I talk to anglers all over the place, Bucksaw is known, as one of those places that anglers and just people in general love to stay at. They love the people. Yeah, they love the facilities there. And am I right on this? You had actually been looking for a way to kind of work with the Classic in the past, and so this made just perfect sense for us to marry this thing up this year.
Yeah, I really like the whole idea of the kayaks. I think that's maybe not super new, but at least some newness to it. And I think it's great to see that many kayaks out on Truman Lake and kind of support that sport altogether. So we're kind of excited about that. And there's just, you see them all. There's so many, and it's exciting.
Agreed. And it's one of the fastest growing sections of the sport fishing industry, right? And when you look at the environmental and conservation side of things, we are about as low to no impact as you can get.
Right.
We go into an area, we do a catch photo release. That fish is maybe out of the water for like 30, 45 seconds because most of us will keep them in a net in the water while we're getting everything ready. They come up, they're on our bump board, boom, we get a picture of them, and they're, once we know the picture's good, they're back in the water and away they go.
Right, and that's really helpful because, there a lot of the other tournaments we're having to bring them all in and, do a weigh-in up on land and then bring them back, and it does cause a little bit of loss sometimes.
Oh, it does, every time, yeah. That's, if you look at the science on it, there's a mortality factor, so yeah.
Right.
No, this is so that is so awesome that seeing that kind of support on the kayak side, and in my opinion, you couldn't be supporting a better organization than what Josh has created here. And Josh, we've got Moyak going off at the same time, isn't that right? They're coming into town as well.
Yep, that's right. We'll be having our club tournament on Saturday as well, so there's going to be a lot of kayaks coming into Clinton that weekend.
That is so awesome. A lot of gas station, a lot of restaurants. And I'll be honest, most kayakers, I'd say a large portion of kayakers like to camp. We're a frugal bunch, right? I mean, we're big campers out there for the most part, looking for that. Brian, when you and I started talking about this, the possibility, and then when we got the go ahead that the wall we were going to be able to get the wall into Clinton, Missouri, brother, I mean, I don't know if you the amount of excitement that I had to finally see these worlds finally coming together like this. This is our season opener, is it not? I mean, we're kicking the season off here on travel with this one.
Yeah, a lot of pressures on David and Tonya to be able to make this work. No pressure on David and Tonya to make this work. Yeah, this is the 2024 season opener. This is the Hail Mary, the kickoff. I'm stalking the Benson Convention Center right now on the other screen here to my right, and looks like a lot of space, a lot of great room to be able to take advantage of. And so Gene and I talked years ago about when I first talked him out of a bass boat and into a kayak. He's like, how do we make these work? And I'm like, dude, every veteran I know has some form of peace outside. How we make that work, I leave to you. You're the fisherman, you're the outdoor guy. You tell me. I said, at the time I wasn't a fisherman. I didn't like fishing. Last time I fished was 13. And then my wife and I were given the opportunity to go to Alaska, and I fell back in love with fishing. Of course, we're talking about really big fish, right? I fell back in love with fishing. So, and then Gene last year comes to my neck of the woods and puts my wife and I in one of his kayaks. It was the most peaceful, relaxing, and we actually got along. That's the key. My wife and I got along. Had a great time. So to be able to bring those two elements together to celebrate not only the sport of kayak fishing, which in and of itself, if you don't have a pedal drive or a motor system, it's taxing on your forearms and your core. To bring that together with helping find veterans, first responders, Gold Star families a sense of peace. especially to a community that we have never been before. I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer. Let's make it work. Let's make it happen. And then he blamed it all on David.
And that's and that's the key, man. It was when Josh and I were talking, and I made a little presentation to them, and this was actually before I joined on board with the All American. I had hit him with a little presentation of, this is kind of idea, this is what we want to do, and this is what we'd like to see. He was, Josh, you were just like, oh yeah, of course, let's do this. Let's figure out a way to make this happen. So when we started piecing this puzzle together here, like you said, when you look at the convention center, it's got the perfect amount of parking in there because, David, like when you and I first spoke about this, she's 120 plus feet long. I mean, we need some ground, to put this thing on that is not going to move on us. Because if that wall falls on you, ask somebody that knows. There's a lot of weight in that wall. We actually had a burst, like a micro burst, take it over in Colorado here, and that is quite the feat to try to get that thing back up and running again. Back on its feet. So yeah, soft ground is not our friend. We need nice hard pavement.
And, we have essentially 3 parking lots, the community center, the Benson Center, the fairgrounds, all connected. So there's plenty of places to, put the wall, and then there's so many places to park, and then there's so many things to do around, inside and outside the Benson Center. I think it's a perfect spot.
And what are like some of the things there in Clinton, Missouri, as anglers are coming into town? There's a decent amount of hotels in the area. Of course, Bucksaw is where check there first. Get down to Bucksaw Resort and Marina. That you're about 25 minutes away from Clinton, Tonya?
Yeah, that's about right.
That's what I thought. So it's in perfect striking distance there. Beautiful country. That my favorite part of Missouri is that area right in there. I think it's some of the best scenery in the entire state.
Well, and as you mentioned before too, you said something about frugal and campers, and we have camping spots as well as hotel, and then there's a Corps of Engineers campground right across the street from us. So plenty of places out that way for the campers too.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. And there's a boat ramp there, which I have a feeling I might be using.
There is a boat ramp right on the property, yes.
And that is a public ramp, right? Or
yes.
People can pay to use it type thing.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. That's our rules with the All American. As long as it's open to the public and people can pay to use it, we're good to go. Awesome.
Yeah, it's
so
going to be a great place for everybody to stay because we're going to be camping out there too. We're going to be doing our little barbecue thing on Thursday night. And then, you've got you an access launch point right there. So, if someone's coming that doesn't get a lot of scout time, they can just get you a campsite there at Bucksaw and launch and go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a great part of the river too. I mean, there's a lot of options. You said food.
I'm all about the food. There's going to be food for sure. There's a lot of good food to eat in Clinton too. There's some good restaurants.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. David, I'll throw this one at you. What? Give us some good barbecue places there in the area. There's got to be some good barbecue, right?
That is one thing. It's odd you say that. That's one thing that we are lacking here in Clinton. We have a pretty good barbecue food truck, but as far as as far as a barbecue restaurant, we've had them come and go, but right now we don't have any.
Gotcha.
We got some very good. Yeah, we got some very good Mexican restaurants. There's a place called Pizza Glen. They took second in the Rural Missouri Reader's Choice. They've been in operation since 1976. It's a personal favorite, and when people come back from college or if they moved away or whatever, they come back, everybody has to go to Pizza Glen at least once. So that's a good place. But we have plenty of restaurants, but we're lacking in barbecue. So we always anytime we can, we say, hey, if you're looking to put a restaurant in Clinton, a barbecue restaurant will survive.
All right, Brian. I think the writing's on the wall, buddy. Another, you know, you and I. Roman's barbecue.
There you go. Bucksaw also has a restaurant right on site too.
Oh,
And,
nice.
yeah. So
Yes.
I think there's a barbecue pulled pork sandwich if someone's interested there.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tonya, talk to us about Bucksaw. Give us the elevator or the commercial there. What is it about Bucksaw that separates it so well?
Well, so I think a lot of it is that we have just a lot of different types of accommodations, and they kind of fit all different kinds of budgets. You know, we have the RV resort, so there we have places for them to camp, and then we also have cabins. So if you have a bigger group, they're 2-bedroom cabins. And then we have the lodge, which is just kind of regular hotel rooms, and we've got 40 units there. But one of the unique things that we have is that we have the floating cabins that are down on the docks. So they're kind of like a little studio unit. You can sleep up to 4 in there, depending on how well you like each other, is what I always say. And
Nice.
what I've heard from people about those is it's the only place that they can have one hand inside in the refrigerator grabbing their beer and the other hand on the fishing pole in the water. So just fishing right there on the dock and sleeping right there too. So
that is fantastic.
That's my kind of room right there.
Right.
Of course, you know, it is a full service resort. So we do have the marina store, and, you know, we have all the tackle and everything there, and then also snacks and stuff. And then, of course, the restaurant's there. And for larger groups, we also have a 3-bedroom suite that's above the restaurant and marina store, which is also floating out on the dock. So if you have a larger group, that'll sleep up to 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what I really
Inside,
like about,
outside dining.
Yes. Yep. At the restaurant, there's a patio, so you can sit outside. Yep. And then, of course, we have gas at the gas docks.
what I really
And then,
like about
as
what I'm
Josh
spacewalking-
is going to use on Thursday night, we have pavilions where you can rent space there, or just hang out there and have some events. And then, of course, we do a lot of tournaments out here for some of the big tournament trails, and we have the weigh-in pavilions where people can come in and do their weigh-ins there. And then we have the little chute that sends the fish back to the water. So we just full service basically.
That's cool.
And Brian, you were saying something?
Yeah, I really like that. I'm stalking you on social media now and on the internet, and I really take heart to the fact that you and your husband are doing this together as a couple since 2018, and you guys are bringing that family knit compassion into the industry. That's lost on so many different businesses in today's society, and I really appreciate being able to read on that and see that.
Oh, cool.
You know, and it's one of the things we tend to key in on different things that, you know, with individuals that we like to work with. You know, it's led us, you know, to the path of where we at with Josh and I, you know, when we talked and tried to come up with an idea with this, of what we could do to take and just, you know, make this into what it is, which is one of the largest events. It is the largest event usually in the Midwest every year for kayak sport, or, you know, the sport of kayak fishing. And it's one of the largest in the entire nation each year. I mean, it's maybe in the top 3, top 4. You know, I mean, it's a heck of a deal that you've built here, Josh. You know, coming from, what was it? It was in La Crosse, wasn't it? You guys come up with an idea around a campfire to put this all together?
Yeah, I think it was. Me and 3 or 4 other tournament directors from across the Midwest. We were like, well, let's just do it. So we just jumped in, and the turnout's been really good. It's been real positive feedback on it. It seems to be growing a little bit every year. This year we definitely have spread out a little more. I've noticed there's a lot more guys from Oklahoma coming this year. You know, Nebraska's sending a whole bunch of guys. Kansas has a big crew. You know, Arkansas, they're the reigning champions, and they're sending a big squad because they want that trophy back again this year. And, you know, Missouri's coming for it hard too, so it's gonna be fun.
I was going to say home state, that Moyak group. I mean, not for nothing, and people will say I've got a biased opinion. Maybe I do, but flat out, that Moyak group is some hammers. All right, that is just some anglers in that group. And so, yeah, what Arkansas did last year was pretty damn impressive. I will say that to take down the home field Moyak, you got something to put a notch in your belt if you can take that crew out on the team side. That's pretty impressive. Well, we're going to do real quick here. I just want to throw this up here just to remind folks you have till May 1st. So give us 30 seconds here and take a watch here real fast. I'm telling you, that music gets me hyped up every time. This is one of the few. This is the only national one that I get a chance to actually fish this event. This is, we got Josh is running this full, and then we have our MC, which we got confirmation is the reigning 2023 Angler of the Year, Mr. Tyler Cole. He's going to be in town, and he's going to be our MC for this event.
We also forgot to mention too about a lot of the support that the area Clinton businesses in that area have been donating for the hourly big bass. Everhart's has helped put that together as well too. So we're going to be paying out, over the 2-day tournament every hour. It's going to be a big bass pot of $150, I think it is. So I don't have the list in front of me of all the businesses that donated and helped sponsor that, but I definitely want to give them credit for that, and we will at the award ceremony for sure.
100%, and we'll make sure on the follow-ups too, when we have these lists finalized, we can shout out those businesses in those areas as well to make sure that we're giving our thanks and such. And we invite every one of those businesses, please come down to the awards. Come hang out with us. Have some food down there. Hang out. See the anglers. See what goes on here. We would love to have as many people in the Clinton area, and above all, in to be included in that, the wall. The wall is going to be here. I want to talk about the wall real quick and kind of get a chance to really express what the impact of this is. And I'm going to do just a small intro, and then I'm going to let Brian take over on this. He does a much better job. This is, as Brian has explained this is our generation's Vietnam Wall. Okay, it is Vietnam. Was closing and wrapping up when I was born in '72. And so things were, taking place there. But from the global war on terror began, I guess officially 1983, right, Brian? With
yes.
Beirut, yeah.
Yes.
And so from '83 till the current dates that are out there on what they called was the conclusion, if you will. The fact of the matter is that the men and women that have put their lives and their entire families on the line for us to protect and keep our country safe day in and day out. This wall represents the only traveling memorial dedicated to the entire global war on terror. There are some other memorials out there that are 9/11 tributes. This is the only traveling wall that is dedicated to the entire global war on terror. And it has a lot of facets. And with that, Brian, I'll turn this over to you on what the wall means, its inception, and so forth.
So a young man, patriotic American named Richard Nichols, actually came up with the concept and design of the Global War on Terror Wall of Remembrance back right around the 10th anniversary of 9/11. He was on a trip to New York with his mother, and the monument that they had established up there moved him in such a fashion where he saw fit that he needed to do something to honor all those who fell during the attack on 9/11. And in doing so, he created a legacy, not just for himself, but for each one of the lives that were lost from 1983 all the way through current day missions and skirmishes that are still taking place behind the black curtain, so to speak, over in the Middle East. There's just shy of 10,000 names on the wall. It is 120 foot long. It is flanked by replicas of the Twin Towers. On the honor side, the skirmishes are broken down into conflict. The names on the wall are organized as such from, I would say, from Afghanistan on through from date of death. Persian Gulf War, Gulf Storm, those are in alphabetical order. And then you have two very key panels on the end of the honor side. And those panels are for those that lost the war here at home. They were either taking their own life, and those names are all handwritten by loved ones, fellow service members. Our staff has strict guidelines. Unless someone physically cannot write, the family, the loved ones, the fellow service members, they write those names to have that personal connection to the memorial. On the opposing side of the wall is an educational timeline. It explains on what happened and why the wall actually does exist. And Gene mentioned it, and I want to key on it. We have a memorial wall. The first time I ever said that to another veteran, it made every hair on my body stand up, because it was as impactful to me as it was to him. And he looked at me with a questionable, puzzling look in his head, because we hadn't had it displayed. We were just conversing. He's like, "What'd you just say?" I said, "We have a memorial wall. You have brothers and sisters on this wall." And the impact to this, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, come out to the wall. To hear about it is one thing. To see a picture is another. To actually come out there and be able to walk through and watch yourself, your body language, watch your emotions come through and be like, "I remember that. I remember when that happened. I saw that on TV." Or, "Oh my God, I didn't realize that's what they were talking about." So it is very impactful. You know, two of the keynotes from last year were watching a young man who he heard about the wall from our one of our fellow custodians, if you will, Mike Gasparini. This young man heard about the wall. We had it set up in Marion, Illinois. And the ballpark that we had it set up at was doing a tribute to his late brother. Well, his son has never met his uncle because his uncle fell in Afghanistan. So while the team recognized it, once they got done with their formalities, we brought him over and we gave him the opportunity to introduce his brother to his son via the wall. And it was truly an emotional and impactful thing. And then at the same location, we had a young man who worked with the Marion VA. And there's a picture on our social media pages where he sat down and one of his friends took a picture of him with a Budweiser beer next to the wall. And his caption was, "Brother, I've waited over 20 years to have this drink with you." So you hear those stories and the emotional pull. Some people may say, "Oh, well, that's horrible." I would challenge and say, no, it's not, because what we're doing by having the wall displayed is we're opening the doors to allow that healing process to begin. And with our staff being there, no one has to go through that process alone.
You know, the piece as a citizen of the United States, I'm not a U.S. veteran. As a citizen of the United States, you made a statement. When you look at the educational side, the timeline, you will go back in time. You'll see certain things and you go back going, "Oh my gosh," like you said, Brian, it's like, I didn't realize that is exactly what it was. Our educational side of this wall has zero politics in it. Okay. There's no Republican agenda. There's no Democratic agenda. What it is real information about what took place. And that's it. And it timelines that piece, and it's an education that is so highly needed. And I'll tell you, when I see families come by and these little ones are being taught this by their mom and dad, man, that is one of the coolest things, that they are learning real information here, and they're seeing stuff, and they understand why it's important that we have those names and we say those names every day. I don't know where this came from. If this was a warrior's creed, is that a warrior dies two deaths. One, when they die, and two, when people stop saying their name. And we vowed with that wall, we won't let people stop saying their name. We will protect that, and we'll continue to say their names out loud and continue to give a space for folks to find that. And like you said, there's always someone with the foundation that's always there. And this, a lot of times people run from this kind of stuff because it's heavy, right? I encourage you, come see what the Romans Warrior Foundation does with this wall, because it may be heavy, but it's a good heavy, y'all. It is a kind of heavy you need in your life, and you understand then what actually really is important and maybe what's not such a big freaking deal at the end of the day. And it just puts perspective in there, and that's the thing, that it's worth your time, and you'll be better after being there with it, for sure.
Yep. For the generations that want to truly understand what the real cost of their freedom is, come out to the wall.
There you go. Brian, if you don't mind me asking this, there's something you do, and I talk to people about this every time we talk about this. In the morning and at night, you have a routine.
I do.
With the wall.
I do, and you're gonna try to pull the onion cutting ninjas out. But,
this is just very important of what this means to a combat veteran like yourself, sir.
When the wall is set up, I am very privileged to have hosts that allow us to set the wall up, because I have 26 Marines on that wall. And when it's set up every morning, right around, I would say, sun up or within an hour of sunrise, just like a morning formation or a morning muster, I go out and I talk to my Marines. I reconnect with them. In the evenings, it's the same routine. I as Gene may have a giggle, and it's rightfully so. I put my Marines to bed at night, have another formation with them, and I secure them for the evening. That's my time to be able to reconnect. And when you do come to the wall, you'll, especially if you have a service member or a family member on that wall, you'll walk the wall, and while we have a locator, you'll find that those names will reach out and talk to you. And generally, before I'm able, or our staff are able to find that name for you, something will pull you to that panel. It's like saying, "Hey, here I am." Every setup, my guys do it to me, and I've walked the wall, and I try not to memorize what panels my guys are on. I really do, and I'll walk the wall and be like, "All right, what do you got to say today?" And it's a conversation that we have, and it's, "Hey, Romans." In my head, I hear, "Hey, Romans, I'm thinking about you." It's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about you too." So that's my little morning routine and evening routine when we have the wall set up.
And it's huge stuff, man, because I've seen some of the most amazing human beings, have moments at the wall just by touching the name, just by being there with it, you name it. And it's like I said, it is a reminder to me every year of why we work so hard on the nonprofit side, and why we grind and grind and grind to find ways to get things rolling. So, well, awesome stuff. So we're here. This thing is going to be off the charts. We're coming in. The event is Friday, Saturday. That's the big thing for people to remember. Friday, Saturday is the event, but I'm going to be getting into town Tuesday evening so that I can practice Wednesday, Thursday. And then we're going to, after we're done with this podcast, David, I want to try to coordinate with you on if we can get a couple volunteers to be there Thursday when Brian is anticipating he'll be coming into town, help us getting that wall set up. That would be, maybe the volunteer fire department or sheriff's department, somebody that might be around that could, good, strong, young bodies.
So
I'm pretty sure we can find that for you.
So traditionally, David, what we pull is CVMA, Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association. They'll come out, they'll escort us in, and they'll help set up. Or the American Legion, VFW, firefighters, firefighter auxiliary, off-duty police officers, sometimes even on duty. One guy actually helped put the wall up with a full tack belt on. But more importantly, too, if we can dial in the time frame that you want me there, David and Gene, we may be able to push this out to see some veteran anglers, if they're not practicing, come in and help set up as well. One of the key things to keep in mind, Miss Tonya and David, also is when we retire the wall on, what are we doing, it Sunday morning, Gene? When we retire the wall, any Gold Star family members, key thing to invite them to come down to help retire their loved one's panel back into the trailer.
That would be awesome. Super,
Yeah.
super awesome. We have extended an invite to the VFW and the American Legion through Facebook, social media. I have not received any communication back from either one of those organizations yet. Hopefully, as it gets closer, they reach out, because we've invited them both to come down, set up a table next to us at the wall, and have their organizations represented right there from the Clinton area, right next to us as we're doing that. Josh. We've got, I'm having a feeling this is an Arkansas guy that is chiming in. Tyler here. He's got an NSKA. It's already start, man. That club stuff, they're going to be the club guys, the looking for that championship. That's a big deal, man. Have you been doing clubs from the very beginning? Has it always been that way?
Yeah, that was one of the foundations of the whole tournament, was to have that kind of a club versus club aspect. And it does come with some big bragging rights, that's for sure. Guys from Arkansas and Missouri have been going back and forth for a whole year now, and they're ready to throw down. And we got all these other states they're ready to go too. Iowa, they were the first ever winners, so I guess we'll see who it is this year.
Well, I can tell you, man, there's a big contingency of Colorado anglers coming in that would love to upset the apple cart. We know we're a dark horse. We got that. We know it. But that's all right. There's some darn good hooks coming into town there, and they're hungry. They want to see this come together. So that would be you'll never hear the end of it if we win it. I promise you that.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah, that's to be expected.
That's awesome. Well, listen here, folks. This event, like I said, Everhart's has helped arrange a ton of this stuff to make this all happen for the Classic. Bucksaw Resort and Marina down there. It's awesome, centrally located. I wanted to share one last thing here, and we'll see if I can add this just by itself. So this gives people kind of an idea of Truman Lake, of where everything's at. Now, Bucksaw, you're up on the Grand. Is that correct,
Yes.
Tonya?
Yes.
Yep. So you got Main Lake. I don't know if you can see it. There's my mouse. Main Lake is up here by the dam, right? You got the T-bow arm that runs up. There's a little T-bow up in there, and big T-bow, and I don't think there's a medium T-bow. Yeah, you got the Grand arm that runs all the way. I pass over this guy every time I come in. That water looks so fishy, but I have a feeling there's not a single bass in that water, knowing my luck. The Osage, of course, is the big long run here. Isn't the Osage what runs past the dam as well, back down to Lake of the Ozark?
Correct.
That's what I thought.
All the Osage watershed from Truman to Lake of the Ozarks and on.
And then Pomme de Terre.
Yeah.
Is it Pommy or Pomme de Terre? I don't know how to say it.
Pomme de Terre.
Pomme de
Potato
Terre.
Lake.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's what the translation means.
Nice. See, I can say potato. All right. And this is a huge body of water here. We're thinking what, 200? You and I are anticipating we're being optimistic, but we think we're going to hit 250. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm pretty sure we'll break 200 this year, because we've grown a little bit every year, and we were right there last year too. So, like I said, with more people coming and we expanded it to the top 15, there's almost 100 signed up already, and we're still, a couple weeks out. So guys like this wait till the last minute, and I think they got till May 1st to get signed up. So we'll see.
I was going to say, kayak anglers are notorious for waiting to the last minute to sign up to get in these events.
I don't think that's specific to kayak.
No?
No.
Is it boaters too?
I think it's everybody.
When you're trying to plan stuff and you put things together, man, it's a pain in the rump. I'll tell you that.
You just never know till the last minute, and then you're like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Let's see here. We had another comment. So this is a buddy of mine back in Minnesota. He joined in and said, "Hey, sorry to get in late, but now this is what I like." He says he needs to get a kayak so he can come fish with us down here. Andrew, we can get you hooked up, brother. We know enough people out there. You just there's a few Minnesota guys that already come down. So yeah, this would be perfect to get you in there. Come fish with us, man. Always good to see people following along here, and the more people we can bring from the Midwest in, and that's an important thing for folks to understand is that the All American, be it the Classic, is separate from the series, but the principle and philosophy remains the same. Is that the Midwest needs representation. The Midwest needs competition because there are some straight killer anglers in the Midwest. And that's what the All American represents, man, is the Midwest and hitting these locations here so we can have, our competition. We can have these kind of awesome camaraderie and events. I don't care where you place. Folks, you need and should be getting by the awards. Come by the convention center at some point before you leave town. Do not show up here, fish only, and jet out of town without getting down to the convention center. Come see. There's a lot of people putting in a lot of time and effort to give you some cool stuff down there. Come talk to your fellow anglers. Come see the town of Clinton. Get a chance to check it out. These businesses around the town are supporting us as a group. They are extending out monies for big bass. They're extending out, the hours and such. Make sure that we do our part by thanking, these local communities. And the local community is doing a fantastic, unbelievably awesome deal by help bringing the Romans Warrior Foundation into town and get that wall on display in the community. So the best we can do is, go buy a Snickers, fill up a tank of gas, take care of the businesses, around Clinton in that area for sure.
Gene, let me just say one more thing about around the Benson Center where the wall is going to be. You're just a few steps from our inclusive playground. That's probably only about 1.5 years, 2 years old. It's very popular, but there's a skate park, a dog park, the Henry County Fairgrounds. Across the street is the beginning of the Katy Trail. And if you want to, that goes all the way to St. Louis. We have ball fields. The senior center is right across the street from the Benson Center. So just in that area, if you park and bring the family, there should be something for everyone before or after you take a look at the wall.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Tonya, what are we looking like right now in occupancy down there? Is still some rooms and campsites available?
There's still some rooms. It's closing up pretty quickly, but there's still availability. So yeah, give us a call.
Okay, you guys,
hooked up.
Folks, you heard it. Get a hold of her. Let her know you saw it here on the Doc Talk podcast on a recording or live, and let her know that you want to get set up for the All American Kayak Classic there, and do that quickly. Don't wait till last minute, or you might end up not getting an awesome, cool place. And Josh's barbecue.
Josh's barbecue.
I've seen the man work. He's serious about this stuff for sure. That's awesome. All right.
We're serious about eating it.
That's right.
I am too.
That's right. Well, listen, you folks hang with me here after we're done here. I want to go just around here and thank each and every one of you so very much for coming on our show, talking about the business, talking about helping make this 2024 event. I'm super stoked. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. This is going to be, like I said, the fact that I can come fish, spend some time at the wall, see my brother Brian, and get the chance to meet you, Tonya, and you, David. This will be awesome. And this is going to be a blast seeing all the Jay Harmon. Jay, right now, as it stands, Jay will be on hand. He's got a pile of hugs to give out from what I'm understanding. Yeah. Jay is a very special angler to all of us and a special human being in general, so it's going to be cool to see him there. And, of course, Tyler. We're finally going to see Tyler with the, that fresh AOI, season that he's got going there. We'll see him at the event as well. So hang out with me here, folks, after we wrap this thing up and we close out. Is there anything else that you folks wanted that we didn't get a chance to cover here before we end the show? No? All right.
I just wanted to say one last time, thank you guys.
Oh.
Thank you for everything. It makes putting on an event like this, it takes a lot of hats to throw in the ring and a lot of people working together. And when, people from the community and the city help out, it just makes things so much better. So thank you for stepping up to help out.
Big time.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said, my brother.
All right, folks. So hang out here. Folks at home, if you're watching this live, thank you so very much. If you're watching it recorded, thank you, just as much. We appreciate all the support with the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network and, of course, our TPO Dock Talk. YouTube subscribes. That's a big one for us. That's a major, major help. It's a great way you can support the mission we're on, support all the things we got going on here, and also keep up to date with when we got special stuff like this dropping out there. So, as usual, folks, thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you. Tight lines and be safe.